Before the invention of cardboard pizza boxes, pizzas were generally carried out in paper bags. This is a bag from 1954, and look at this guy. Look at his tiny head and his giant mustache and the weird way he holds the spatula with his giant thick piece of pizza. And look at how it kind of appears that he just set the tray down on his arm. That's how I do it. While pizza is Italian, it also has roots in the United States. Tomatoes did not exist in Italy until after Columbus discovered America. Some credit Columbus with bringing tomatoes back from the New World. Others credit this guy, Hernan Cortez. Rafael Esposito is often credited with making the first modern pizza in Naples in 1889. There is a legend about the very first pizza delivery. This is Queen Margherita of Savoy. At one point she fell ill, but wanted to taste that delicious pizza. So Raphael delivered one to her, and he designed it to look like the Italian flag. Tomato for the red, basil for the green, and mozzarella for the white. And this is where the term margherita pizza comes from. The first patent for a pizza box was filed in 1963. However, Domino's had been open for 3 years at that point, and it is believed that they had created the pizza box and had not actually filed for a patent.
Domino's Pizza delivers. Quality is making it to your door. We're taking it. Domino's Pizza.
Here's the famous winking chef, very commonly seen on pizza boxes, especially in the 80s. Here's one of the modifications I found. Sometimes he's not winking, other times he's not giving the okay sign, because apparently this doesn't mean nice things in every culture. Here you can see a very modified version of the winking chef, but that's indeed the same illustration. According to the obituary for Gil Fox, the DC Comics creator of Plastic Man, he also drew the original winking chef. Now here's a pizza box for you. On one side it says pizzeria, the other side it says ristorante. Both of them are far classier than a regular pizza shop. Like how the window looks like it has like a ton of spittoons all the way around it. I gotta speed. I never want to miss. Look at this little guy with his weird little boots and then his face, but no head. He's got a hat and no head to surround his face. I'm a drawing him. Does he need a head? No, just the face.
Who is it?
It's Little Nero, sir. I have your pizza.
These early pizza boxes were made out of a very lightweight cardboard. It was similar to the type that pastry shops would use to sell their pastries in. The problem was when you had pizza boxes stacked on top of each other, they would sag down and ruin the cheese. So in 1974, a man named Daniel Claudio Troglia invented these things, the little tiny pizza table. This one I like because it uses a little less plastic and then it looks like a Mercedes symbol. Hey Joe, you always want a Mercedes. I put it on the top of your pizza. This one just says pizza, which I think is actually confusing because this is the side that touches the box. Pizza should be written in really tiny letters on here. Commonly used as like dollhouse tables or for G.I. Joes. Look at this. If E.T. wanted to play Pac-Man, this would be perfect for him. Do you know that Pizza Hut partnered with IKEA to make a full-size version of these? So here's a more commonly seen modern box. They're corrugated cardboard, much sturdier when stacked on top of each other.
Hello. Looks good. You betcha my life. And it's delicious.
Look at this guy. He's just running with the pizza. Either that or somebody broke his leg. You've tried all the rest. Now try the best. It's pretty presumptuous. Here's another weird little chef about to be kicked by the boot. I guess he's throwing two pizzas up in the air at the same time. It sort of looks like two giant Pringles. When I was a kid, I always thought that he had a lasso. I mean, it made sense. He has the neckerchief like a cowboy. And as a kid, I wanted to play with a lasso. Why wouldn't I think the pizza guy wanted to play with a lasso?
Don't think of it as one pizza. Think of it as one pizza and one box.
What am I going to do with a box?
Ever hear of origami?
Enjoy your delicious moment. I like how these two guys look so dissimilar in art style. It's not even like they belong on the same block of cartoons on Saturday morning. this guy in the front with the pursed lips just looking all smarmy. He looks kind of well drawn, kind of realistic. And then the other guy in the back is just like, honk, honk. He lives in Doug Funny's town. I like how he's cutting the pizza, but he just put the roller right in the center of the pizza. Or he's placing a pepperoni with tongs. I think this guy's naked under his apron. Don't like it. Look, if you're tired of Italian chefs, Pope Francis is probably the way to go. You could eat that in church. This is the Domino's pizza logo that they adopted in the year 1965. It had 3 dots, one for each of their locations at the time. The owner planned to add another dot for each location they added, but they expanded so quickly that he decided to stick with just the 3. As Domino's expanded, they worked with Frank Lloyd Wright's company to create a new headquarters. It was going to be leaning, and they were going to call it the Leaning Tower of Pizza. The idea was eventually scrapped when representatives from Frank Lloyd Wright's company decided that a leaning tower of pizza was not exactly keeping in the vision of Frank Lloyd Wright. However, you can view this 50-foot model of the Leaning Tower of Pizza over at the Domino's headquarters in Ann Arbor. I get Domino's from time to time. When I hear younger people say how bad it is, I'm like, oh, you have no idea. It used to be way worse. Sometimes when I order it, I get it in this weird, super classy looking box. And I know that's when I either select hand tossed or pan, but I can't tell you the difference in taste because they all taste exactly like a Domino's pizza. Here's a pizza box from Little Caesars, and I want you to pay attention to the markings at the bottom of his toga. It's an L and a C.
Little Caesar's Pizza, tastiest in town. A winner and we slice it all the way around.
We started out talking about pizza being delivered in bags, and that's exactly what Little Caesars did for a while. They had this kind of cardboard insert that the pizzas would be on, but that would slide into a bag. You see that it's 2 pizzas you would get. That's where the phrase pizza pizza came from.
At Little Caesars, you always get
Pizza, pizza.
2 great pizzas for 1 low price.
Look at this. I got this. This has been on the couch behind me the whole time. I just noticed it over my shoulder. It's pizza.
Party! Pizza party!
Domino's now has stuffed crust pizza, but I've always associated stuffed crust pizza with Pizza Hut.
It's the amazing stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut, the world's one and only pizza you eat backwards.
Ooh, that looks good. But apparently a lot of people always thought that Domino's had stuffed crust pizza.
We asked people who said they've had Domino's stuffed crust pizza before to compare it to our new stuffed crust.
The last one didn't have this much cheese.
I mean, that's the whole point of this commercial. People assumed it was an older product, and they're proving them wrong, telling them that this is new and exciting.
Domino's has never made a stuffed crust pizza before.
Stuffed crust pizza was a Pizza Hut invention and a huge gamble that led to an unprecedented string of celebrity endorsements. But the real question was, did Pizza Hut steal this cheesy, gooey pizza revolution? This story involves a Brooklyn inventor, a billion-dollar lawsuit, and a Donald Trump commercial. So grab a slice, and let's all eat our pizza the wrong way.
Making it thick, making it tall, making it splash and having it all. Making it heat, sizzle and drizzle, steam and gleaming. Making it early, making it late. Pizza Hut, making it great.
The version we eat today, a continuous ring of mozzarella baked into the dough, was invented by Patty Sheebmeyer, a Pizza Hut employee in the early 1990s. She figured out how to get the cheese to stay in place during baking and even cut cleanly with the pizza. The light bulb moment for Patty was when she was listening to a focus group talk about pizza crust, and they referred to them as pizza bones and said that they discarded them. Patty realized that some consumers were throwing away 15% of the pizza. She decided that rather than let people waste it, she was going to find a way to make it delicious. Pizza Hut loved the idea, and in 1995, they rolled out stuffed crust pizza nationwide. Mozzarella tucked into the outer edge of the dough, baked golden, and guaranteed to ooze when you bite it. Now, this was a big gamble. They're reinventing pizza crust. So Pizza Hut knew they had to sell this to the public. Their ad agency, BBDO, went looking for a way to grab attention, and they found it in one of the unlikeliest couples in America, real estate tycoon Donald Trump and his ex-wife Ivana. Their divorce had been the ugliest divorce in the history of the tabloids. This was an absolute circus just a few years earlier, so the idea of bringing these two into the same room, let alone the same commercial, was a huge deal.
Do you really think this is the right thing for us to be doing, Ivana?
What will people think?
Let them talk.
Pizza Hut paid them nearly $1 million combined to sit across from each other and eat their pizza backwards.
It's wrong, isn't it?
But it feels so right.
Then it's a deal?
Yes, we eat our pizza the wrong way.
Crust first.
Introducing stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut.
This was a very clever commercial. The Trumps were in a hotel suite that looked like it was straight out of the Plaza Hotel, which he owned at the time. You probably saw it in Home Alone 2. And the punchline where she goes to get another slice and Donald Trump says,
Actually, you're only entitled to half.
is brilliant. Behind the scenes, they say that Donald Trump was super fussy about this shoot. He wanted the camera angles exactly right. He wanted to make sure that his ex-wife was lit in the exact way he wanted her to be lit. And then there was drama when he got back at home because apparently Trump's new wife, Marla Maples, didn't know he was going to shoot a commercial with his ex-wife, and reports are that she threw up when she heard about it. But the ad worked because it got people talking. And next thing you know, Pizza Hut was getting hundreds of millions of dollars in sales from stuffed crust pizza. And it wasn't just Trump and Ivana. Pizza Hut spent over $45 million to gather celebrity endorsements for their stuffed crust pizza. Conservative talk show host Rush Limbaugh joked that he was going to do something wrong for once.
It's a burden being right all the time. You know what I mean? So for the first time ever, I'm actually going to do something wrong. I'm going to eat my pizza crust first.
Ringo Starr did a commercial where he teased the Beatles reunion.
Got to get the other lads to agree. I think I can convince them.
I'll say, lads,
The time has come to eat our pizza crust first.
Good idea, Ringo.
The Monkees, together with Ringo Starr. Absolutely brilliant. Pizza Hut was really good at putting together people that we didn't expect in their stuffed crust commercial, but also just bringing people that you would never expect to do a stuffed crust pizza commercial. They had Lawrence Arabia himself, the man with 8 Academy Award nominations. Peter O'Toole did his only commercial ever for Pizza Hut.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
Peter.
What?
Peter, try it backward.
B2 not or B2?
Peter, I meant the pizza.
I knew that.
Stuffed crust
Pizza Hut also paid for other legends to do commercials. Waylon Jennings together with Willie Nelson eating their pizza backwards. They also got people that were hot as could be in the sports world. Deion Sanders signed with the Cowboys in September. And in December, they aired this commercial.
So what's it going to be, Dion? Football or baseball?
Both, boss.
Both?
Pizza Hut.
Meat lovers or stuffed crust pizza?
Both.
Both?
There was also a tennis commercial that brought together John McEnroe, the bad boy of tennis, with Pete Sampras, who kind of had almost like a choir boy image.
You go up to the umpire, you say, "You were wrong."
You were wrong.
Why the football scrump, you racket, and eat your pizza the wrong way, crust first. Why didn't you say so?
They flipped the script on that with the basketball version of this commercial. It had David Robinson together with Dennis Rodman. Of course, Dennis Rodman, known for his outrageous antics.
Dennis, you're just a little bit too tight, man. You need to loosen up. For me? Be provocative. Don't be so conservative. Shake things up.
So what do you want me to do?
Well, you can start by eating your pizza the wrong way. Crust first.
That's weird, man. That's too weird.
They also got boxer Peter Hurricane McNeely, who had just lost to Iron Mike Tyson in 89 seconds.
So good you'll eat it backwards. Show 'em, kid.
They also had a tie-in for the summer's hit film Casper.
You like a fleshy too? And even some not so living.
But my favorite of all of these was the one with Penn and Teller.
Promise Teller a slice if he can successfully demonstrate the only correct way to eat it, which is backwards. Backwards is the fastest way to get to the 360 degrees of mouth mesmerizing cheese right inside the crust.
Together, these spots help place stuffed crust pizza firmly in the imagination of the viewer. People around the country had to try stuffed crust pizza, and by the end of 1995, it was accounting for over $300 million in pizza sales for Pizza Hut. And then there was Anthony Mangiello, a Brooklyn inventor who had patented a type of stuffed pizza all the way back in 1987. His design actually involved dough with pockets of cheese all the way throughout, uniformly throughout the entire pizza, not just the crust. Even though his patent was a little different than the stuffed crust pizza, when the stuffed crust pizza launched in 1995, he sued Pizza Hut. In the end, the courts ruled against him and in favor of Pizza Hut. They said that his method of doing the cheese was different than their method, and so his patent was for his method of it, not the actual end result. And even though their end result may have mirrored his patent in some way, it didn't infringe on it, and he was not paid for it. What do I think? Well, Mangiello is famously litigious, so I'm not going to give my opinion on it, but I will say I love the idea of an entire stuffed pizza. Heck, I would love it if they could stuff the pepperoni with some cheese. Stuff the sauce with cheese if you want. Heck, stuff the box with cheese. Stuff the napkins with cheese. Stuff everything with cheese. Now, for years, Domino's decided not to offer stuffed crust pizza. But finally, March of this year, they announced their Parmesan stuffed crust pizza. Butter-flavored dough, mozzarella inside, garlic seasoning on top, and a sprinkle of Parmesan. Pizza Hut and Domino's aren't the only two with stuffed crust. The other chains have joined in as well, but oddly, it took them many, many years to do so. In 2020, Papa John's released their own cheese-filled stuffed crust pizza, and 3 years later, in 2023, Little Caesars introduced stuffed crust pizza during the winter season, and Pizza added its own version around the same time. Pizza Hut made stuffed crust pizza a phenomenon, and something that we will never forget. Stuffed crust isn't just pizza. It's history, it's controversy, it's Americana.
Party! It's a party!
Do you remember this ad? This was part of probably the most ambitious movie tie-in ad campaign of all time. Tricon Global, today known as Yum Brands, brought together their three iconic characters, Colonel Sanders, the Taco Bell dog, and some random driver for Pizza Hut.
3 legendary heroes have come together and will lead the battle to save the galaxy from the menace of the dark side.
Right after lunch.
There's a lot to break down here. To start, you've got Tricon Global, which was formed in 1977 as a division of PepsiCo. Pepsi was the #2 soda brand in the world, still is, behind Coca-Cola, and so they were having trouble getting their beverages into McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's, so they went ahead and purchased Pizza Hut, figuring now Pizza Hut would have to serve Pepsi. And then a year later, 1978, they purchased Taco Bell from founder Glenn Bell. Then in 1986, they purchased, or really saved, KFC from the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company. Over the years, PepsiCo has purchased and then sold many different restaurant chains. They've owned California Pizza Kitchen, A&W Root Beer, Long John Silver's, Habit Burgers, and a slew of other restaurant chains.
Every day we enjoy people being cold to us, cutting us up, getting fresh with us.
So cut to 1999, The Phantom Menace is coming out 16 years after Return of the Jedi. People are hyped to the max for this after the release of special edition versions of the Star Wars films, and anticipation was as high as could be, and Tricon strikes a deal with Lucasfilm. This campaign featured some of the most expensive commercials ever made.
Something quickly. The Naboo system has been invaded by force.
The campaign kicked off with the Colonel Sanders statue coming to life at the Colonel Sanders Museum, which, God, I wish was real. That is actor Henderson Forsythe playing Colonel Sanders. Henderson had appeared on As the World Turns as Dr. David Stewart for many years, and man, he looks like Colonel Sanders in this commercial.
Need your help.
Meanwhile, Pizza Hut lady is delivering a pizza, but then she stops along the way to do a backflip into the Colonel's convertible.
Punch it.
The Pizza Hut delivery girl was played by Kim Murphy, who I remember from her role in the Sinbad Phil Hartman comedy House Guest. Stunt woman and gymnast Lee Hennessy filled in for a few shots, including that backflip. Then they go to the Boom Boom Room, where they pick up the Taco Bell dog.
Let's do this.
The Taco Bell dog was played by an actual Chihuahua named Gidget, but the voice of the Taco Bell dog was Carlos Alazraqui, who is a voice actor who's pretty prolific, probably best known for playing Rocco in Rocco's Modern Life. Each of the restaurant chains was deemed to be its own planet. First you have Taco Bell, which was Tatooine, the planet that Luke Skywalker is from.
Right now, you can get one of 4 collectible Star Wars posters.
They also had an assortment of kids' meal toys that were exclusive to Taco Bell, and that was where you could get your Tatooine cup toppers. Each restaurant had their own cup toppers. These were fantastic. Every restaurant seemed to get one that everyone wanted, and I think here that was Darth Maul. Kentucky Fried Chicken was representing the planet of Naboo, and they had the coveted R2-D2 cup. I think this is the only cup that had legs. Some of the commercials actually took place on Naboo, where our 3 heroes went into the fight.
You're a real colonel, right?
All seemed to be lost for Colonel Sanders and the Pizza Hut girl, but luckily,
Hey, look what I found.
in addition to the cup toppers, KFC had their own Happy Meal toys, and if you bought a bucket of chicken, you could get a flying bucket topper. These had the Star Wars characters on them, and it was a Frisbee.
Pizza Hut will be transformed into the planet Coruscant, home of the Imperial Senate.
Pizza Hut was probably the gold mine to go to. You had Jar Jar Binks, who we hadn't known that we were going to hate yet. They also had Yoda, which of course appealed to all of the fans of the original trilogy. And they had special pizza boxes, but these were only for to-go orders. If you went and ate in the restaurant, you were not allowed to use one of these for your take-home. They had their selection of toys as well, and they don't have Happy Meals at Pizza Hut, so you could just buy these for 99 cents with any purchase. Actually passed Coruscant in one of the commercials.
Tell me the secret recipe. I can keep a secret.
I'm not gonna tell you.
This brings me to the grand prize of the contest.
Play Defeat the Dark Side. Get a game medallion and you could win one of millions of prizes instantly, even a Star Wars speeder.
So what happened to that grand prize? What happened to that hovercraft speeder? The only lead I found is this guy who commented a year ago, I won the speeder. Took over a month to finally receive it. It was 6 or 7 feet long, cramped, and not very fast. It was just a hovercraft. Says it wasn't very good, steered poorly, and at one point he punctured the bladder on a concrete curb, and then he went ahead and sold it to an older dude who didn't know what it was from, and it's probably still in Northern Ontario. People responded saying this would be a crazy collector's piece if he still had it, and he said maybe, but there was nothing on it to suggest it was even from this. It's not like it was branded or anything. It looked like something you could go into any Urban Outfitters and buy. Is he telling the truth? I have no idea. He didn't produce any pictures of him in it or anything like that. So the prize was an Aero Cruiser, which I think most people don't have a use for. Now, Pepsi didn't just own fast food chains. They also owned Lay's potato chips.
You could win one of thousands of Star Wars prizes.
It's a no.
Or go for the chance to win the $100,000 grand prize.
They were really pushing this contest. There also was this weird commercial.
Lay's potato chips. Find out in the Lay's Star Wars Can You Resist game.
That's assault on any planet. Pepsi also did some commercials with Marfalump.
Marfalump! Are you downstairs again, honey?
Oh, not now, Ma. Oh, I gotta get out of here. I'm late. Look out! Got you! Down in front. I'm not worthy.
This character was a collaboration between ILM and BBDO Advertising out in New York City. Marfalump had a few different commercials.
Jar Jar Binks come for comic relief.
Emergency landing on Tatooine.
No! Pod racing is wet. Love you, Mom.
Famed voice performer Billy West provided the voice of Marfalump.
When you see the pod racing scene, it's so wizard. Young Skywalker's racing for freedom. Now this This is pod racing.
They had some great prizes you could win. In addition to the speeder, you also could win a lot of money. You could win a Lincoln Navigator, a Darth Maul CD player, a Nintendo 64, or if you wanted, you could get that awesome iMac, and you could collect these cool tokens, and then you could win prizes. They had mini games within this, like the excitingly named Appeal to the Senate. These are the tokens that you would put up on that game board.
Party! It's a party!
Look at this. Elio's Pizza. This gloriously rectangular toaster oven friendly cheesy slab of 3 slices. Nostalgia.
Elio's knows how to make pizza in packages that will finally fit your freezer. Elio's knows how to make premium quality pizza at affordable prices. And now, so do you.
I wasn't sure whether it was pronounced Elio's or Elios, so I looked at some of their commercials and I heard it and they said it this way.
Elios.
Then I watched another commercial and they said it this way.
Elios!
So your guess is as good as mine. Is it
Elios?
Or is it
Elios?
This was started in 1963 by 3 Greek immigrants who lived in New York. And they actually, I'll explain it, but this is part of each of their names. They kind of put their last names together and made this made-up name for this Greek version of pizza.
So I show her how you put the Elias on the secret tray thing, push the beep buttons, and it comes out real crispy.
It actually says on the back they do not recommend you put this in the microwave, so I will not. I'm going to put it in the oven. We'll talk all about the history of Elio's Pizza, and then I'll try it on camera and I'll give you my take on it. I have not had this in years. I was surprised to see it in the grocery store. They only had pepperoni. I always remember cheese. All right, here it is. It's in 3 pieces and the pepperoni are on top. You're supposed to break this. It's supposed to break into 3 separate pieces. And now I'm going to have cheese all over the floor here, but let's, oh, hey, nice clean break. Hold on. All right, a little uneven there, but all right, let me go put this in the oven and I'll be right back. We'll go over the history of Elio's Pizza.
I am a pizza.
Put it in the oven and tons of cheese goes blub, blub, blub.
And tons of cheese goes blub, blub, blub.
I'm going to butcher these names, but I want to read the names of the 3 Greek-American entrepreneurs. It was Elias Beithozis, George Leolis, and Manny Treleos. And so they took L, Eos, so they took the L of Elias, they took the Li of Leos, and they took the Os of Trezelos. Could have taken that from one of the other names, but these were real popular because they were so easy to cook, and you could cook them in a toaster oven, which the 80s, you know, it was big era for the latchkey kids because it's like the first generation where both of their parents would work and they'd come home from school and they'd go into the house, you know, with a key hidden under a rock or something, and then they could make themselves some Elio's Pizza. In 1988, they were acquired by McCain, which they are not currently part of that empire, but the McCain company you see like bagged potatoes and French fries and other things like that. They owned Elio's Pizza. And then in 2014, McCain sold it off to Dr. Oetker, which was a German company that was established in the late 1800s. So there was a point during the war where they were certainly a company we wouldn't do business with. So they owned Elio's for a while, but in 2020, they sold Elio's off. And so now it's owned by GA Productions out of Lodi, New Jersey. So this is a small brand. I don't know that you can get this all over the country anymore. Over the years, they've had other products that they made. The company was diversified enough to have, they had their own version of Hot Pockets.
McCain-Elio's got a great new pizza snack. They call them Pizza Pockets. McCain-Elio's Pizza Pockets.
And I do remember commercials with the Philadelphia Flyers eating Elio's Pizza.
You want the pizza? Yeah, I'm hungry. Sounds good. I'll make it. Yeah, right. You can cook? What's this?
This was your staple cafeteria style pizza too, but not just there. I feel like in lots of places where today, like at a stadium, for example, if they had a slice of pizza, it was closer to this than your standard, you know, quality pizza oven pizza. Look at this. I had to get the plastic lunch tray out for this. That's why these were so good, though. They fit very nicely on the plastic lunch tray. I gotta say, I mean, I think it looks pretty good. This is, I think I may have burnt it. Not, like, I feel like maybe 30 seconds less, but actually not too bad. Not too bad. All right. Try it out. See how it is. I'm going to give you a full... So let me give you a full review. The sauce is not as sweet as I thought it would be or remembered it to be. The bread is a lot thinner than I thought it was. Like, I remembered these being very thick and puffy, which it is not. Pepperoni, I mean, tastes like pepperoni. I don't know that there's that many variants of... you get those round cup ones, or you get these. Sort of like a nacho cheese flavored to it, though. I feel like there is cheese flavoring added to this. Low moisture, part skim milk mozzarella cheese. Cheese cultures, tomato paste. It actually has, I mean, relatively low on the artificial ingredients. They do have soybean oil in there for some reason. Here's the other thing. I may have overcooked it a little bit, but I think it looks like the package. That kid said to the upper left quadrant was the best in that commercial.
What's the best part of McCain-Elio Square Pizza?
Quite definitely, the upper left quadrant is best. Excuse me, like this part is.
I gotta tell you, I was a little worried trying this because I thought this is gonna be terrible, and I'm gonna have to say it's terrible. I can't just lie to you guys and tell you it's good. And I didn't want to do that for the memory of the three men that put their names together like a big Voltron. Also for the idea of nostalgia, one of the companies from our youth that you would think had gone by the wayside, still around. And also thinking about this smaller company now that runs it out of Lodi, New Jersey, you know, still kicking after McCain tossed it to the curb. To my surprise, I don't have to lie to you. This stuff's not bad. This is not bad. Now, I'm thinking about it. If I went to a pizza restaurant and they served me this, I'd be like, well, what is this? But if I was at like an all-you-can-eat buffet and they had pizza and I tried it, yeah, I think I'd think it was good. If I was at like a 7-Eleven or something, maybe, I'd be like, all right, that tastes like pizza. You know, it's an approximation of what, you know, pizza is. But for something that you can take frozen, stick it in your oven less than 10 minutes, you got yourself a slice of pizza. It was good. This is better than I remember. The nostalgia is strong with this.
Party! It's a party!
In the 1995 thriller The Net, Sandra Bullock played a systems analyst named Angela Bennett, whose whole life revolves around her computer. And early in the film, she goes and orders a pizza completely online. This blew my mind as an audience member. The idea that you could order a pizza online back then, shocking.
Log on to AOL keyword Pizza Hut or AOL.com Pizza Hut. Get the stuff you want, like clothing, video games, pet supplies, DVD players, and more.
The scene was important because it was one of the first times that we, as the general public, saw an actual demonstrated way that computers were going to change our lives. The website she orders from is pizza.net. And while this scene was fiction, it was a little bit based in reality because a year before the movie came out, Pizza Hut created a website that they called PizzaNet. This was a prototype experimental idea of people ordering pizza online, but it was limited only to the city of Santa Cruz, California. Pizza Hut's PizzaNet was a wildly complicated process. You had to use the Mosaic web browser. You remember that one? And you would log on, order your pizza. Then you would get a phone call confirming what you ordered online. And then when the pizza came to your house, you'd have to pay in cash because they had no way to take money online. Now, 1995, the year the net came out, was also the year that Worldwide Waiter launched online, which is now called Waiter.com. This was the first ever multi-restaurant ordering site. We had to wait from 1995 all the way to 2001 for a big company to really launch an online pizza ordering site. It was Papa John's.
Today is an exciting day in the history of Papa John's. Come on in, we'll talk about it. Let's do a zesty jalapeno and meats, and let's go to the pizza builder. And Matt just made history. He's the first delivery driver to deliver Papa John's worldwide, papajohn.com on our new internet site today, and we're real proud of him.
Pizza Hut didn't return to the online ordering until 2008.
Pizza Hut's family value meal is easy. A complete meal is just a call or a click away. Get America's favorite pizza, Pizza Hut, now online.
In 2008, you could only order your pizza through text message or on their website. But a year later, 2009, they launched their own app and they had $1 million in sales in the first 3 months.
Now ordering from Pizza Hut couldn't get any easier with the Pizza Hut mobile app.
Domino's entered the fray in 2010 with their pizza tracker.
Only Domino's has an online real-time pizza tracker, so you can get on with your life while we get on with your pizza.
Do you remember Dom? This was Domino's Pizza's personal assistant. They added him to the site also in 2010.
Hi, I'm Tom. What can I get you?
I need 6 large pies, pronto.
Sounds like a party.
It took a long time for this to take off, but by 2015, the number of pizzas ordered online outpaced the number that were ordered through phone calls. I don't know why I'm doing this. Not like pizza's here and then phones are here.
In an effort to maintain social distancing guidelines, more of us are using delivery services.
In 2020, everybody was locked in their house and these things became even more standard. And that's when we saw things like DoorDash and Grubhub and Uber Eats and all of these other companies starting to deliver everything. When I was a kid, there were only 2 types of cuisine that you could order and have delivered to your house: pizza and Chinese food. Everything else, you had to go to the restaurant. All right, 1993, Demolition Man. You got to talk about this. In Demolition Man, they go to Taco Bell, and she gets all excited. Ooh, Taco Bell.
You do not realize that Taco Bell was the only restaurant to survive the franchise wars.
So?
Now all restaurants are Taco Bell.
No way.
In other regions where Taco Bell is not as big of a fast food chain, they switched this to Pizza Hut.
Now all restaurants are Pizza Hut.
You may remember this scene from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990. They're waiting for the pizza guy and he's late, but he can't find it because they're asking him to deliver the pizza to the sewer. And we can see it's clearly a Domino's pizza box and a Domino's pizza driver. But when it came out on VHS, they actually did a promotion with Pizza Hut.
Free Pizza Hut coupon book worth $20 on some of your Pizza Hut and Pepsi favorites.
Let's talk about Gleaming the Cube, which is a skater film. It has Tony Hawk in it. And in the movie, in addition to doing skating, Tony Hawk drives a Pizza Hut truck. Totino's Pizza Rolls, a product that if you eat them too quickly after they come out of the oven, they will burn your mouth off. If you wait too long, they taste kind of cold and gross. And if you eat them when they are the perfect temperature, they are delicious. But that's only happened to like one person in the history of mankind.
I love Totino!
Originally, these weren't Totino's, though. They were Gino's Pizza Rolls.
Pizza, pizza, pizza roll. Have a pizza, pizza, pizza roll. Have a pizza, pizza, pizza roll.
This commercial is so great. It's a parody of a cigarette commercial.
There is nothing like a lark. It's America's most popular new cigarette.
Have a lark, have a lark, have a lark today. Have a lark, have a lark, have a lark today. Have a lark today. Apple bomb. It was nothing you just make it drop to a powdered palm. Suddenly the Gino's Pizza Roll is here to save the day. Appetizers now at last are in.
This was part of a series of commercials for Gino's that was put together by Stan Freberg. Stan was one of the funniest people that ever lived, a big inspiration to Weird Al Yankovic. Stan did all kinds of stuff, and he brought his humor to this commercial.
Pizza roll.
I'd like to talk to you about that music you're using.
That's funny. I've been meaning to speak to you people about the same thing.
Have a pizza roll, Kimasabi.
Look for Gino's Pizza Rolls and serve this new hors d'oeuvre.
Just take them out of the freezer, pop them in the oven for 10 minutes. That's it.
Who was that masked man anyhow?
Pizza rolls were invented by a Scandinavian chef named Beatrice Ojakengas. Inventing pizza rolls is actually a footnote to Beatrice's career. Her book, The Great Scandinavian Baking Book, is in the James Beard Cookbook Hall of Fame. Pizza rolls were invented in the mid-60s. A decade before that, Jim Totino was running a pizza parlor.
Hey, you guys, hungry for some pizza?
Take a bite, everyone, 'cause Totino's is quite a bite.
Jim started a frozen pizza business from that and then eventually sold it to Pillsbury. Then in 1985, Gino sells his company to Pillsbury for $135 million.
What a winner! The irresistible taste of pizza in this hot little bite-sized snack. Gino's Pizza? Wait a second. Totino's Pizza Rolls.
Here's Today I Learned on Reddit. And what I learned today was that in North Korea, pizza is very expensive. Kim Jong-il wanted pizza, so he brought over a bunch of pizza cooks in 1999, and now they do have somewhat of a pizza industry in North Korea. Pizza there costs between $6 and $12, which is more than the average person can afford. It's kind of something that only diplomats and very fancy people like to have. So I was looking for pictures of some of the North Korean pizza places. I found this. You can see the North Korean flags on the roof and a sign out front that says, "The great Korean people are a nation that possesses 50 atomic bombs." Comic Sans is a good choice for the sign. This is not in North Korea. This is in San Jose, California. Here's a real one. Now, Kim ordered the first pizza place built in 2008. He had sent these chefs to learn in Rome and in Naples. Now, this story led me from North Korea down to South Korea, and I found out about Mr. Pizza. This is a giant pizza chain in South Korea. They are the first pizza place on Kazdak, which is their version of NASDAQ. They opened their first store in 1990 in Seoul, Korea, right near a women's college. And by 2013, they had over 400 restaurants in South Korea, 28 in China, they had a couple in America, and they had some in Vietnam. Now, maybe it's tied to the fact that they opened their first one near a women's college, but their slogan is love for women.
이런 사랑 말곤 없니? 피자 그렇게 다가와 쫄깃하게 감기는 이 맛은 한치 for women. Mr. Pizza.
It looks like all of the locations in the United States have closed. They had one in Buena Park, California. I know they had one in the Westwood Mall in California. They were opening a lot out in California, a couple others throughout the country. I know there was one in New York City. They're all gone. I really love digging through the history of this pizza place. They have a very comical ad where they say that Marco Polo stole the idea of pizza from South Korea.
I hate Marco Polo. He stole one of our national treasures. He stole pizza from Korea.
Pizza is indeed ours. Most of the evidence has been destroyed, but fortunately, artifacts are continually being uncovered.
They claim that South Korea is the birthplace of pizza, and as proof, they offered this statue.
I found a piece of undeniable evidence, a Buddha from the Goryeo dynasty. Look on top of his head. What is that? It can only be a pizza box. For years, people have speculated over the meaning of the second box. I think this is the first buy one, get one free garlic bread promotions of the time.
We also invented garlic bread.
In 2015, they opened their 100th location in China. They're a really neat pizza place. They have very unique pizzas. Obviously, they have a lot of local culture and flavor to some of them, so they look very strange to us here. The other thing that they have is guys that flip pizza like nobody's business. Take a look at this. These are absolute pizza flipping experts. There are videos of them online where they've gone to like the Las Vegas pizza show and they've put on a show. There's other videos that you can see where they have taken an area and set up like a pop-up, and then almost like a rock star, these pizza guys come out and flip the pizzas. Now, when you go to the restaurant, they have kind of a glass window so you can watch them make the pizza. And watching these guys work is fascinating. I want to show you this ad. I mentioned how they have some local flavors in them. This pizza's got eggs on it.
살살 녹는 에그 타르트 엣지로 처음 맛보는 분노. 에그타.
에그타?
The joke is that they're passing gas. That's the joke here? In South Korea right now, they say they have pet fever, and so people are absolutely doting on their pets, very similar to what happens in the United States. And so Mr. Pizza has a couple pet options. Now, these are made with a rice flour dough that's easier for the dogs to digest. These are in 2 different varieties. These are the 2 most popular varieties for human pizza in Mr. Pizza's restaurant. You've got pepperoni, or pepperoni, and then cheese blossom steak, which I don't know exactly what it is. It looks interesting. These are made with a salt-free cheese. They've designed them in a way that they're really better for the pets. I'm sure they don't taste very good. This is Jung-Woo Han. He was the founder of Mr. Pizza. He stepped aside, though, in 2017. There were a lot of reports that he was pushing the franchisees way too hard. He was also insisting that they purchase cheese at a higher price from a relative of his. He had to bow his head in shame after he stepped down. As I was researching Mr. Pizza, I kept finding out all kinds of great things, but I kept reading such negative things about Jung-Woo Han. It actually very much hurt the chain. It's now been several years, so the chain appears to have bounced back from that. But that happened right around the time they were rolling out these restaurants into the United States. Researching Mr. Pizza was very difficult, not just because of the language barrier, but also because it's such a simple and common name for a pizza place. I kept finding unrelated things, like this pizza place is called Mr. Pizza. It's in Buffalo, New York. It's got nothing to do with the South Korean Mr. Pizza chain. I also found out about an unrelated chain called Mr. Pizza that was in Japan, but was eventually purchased by the current Mr. Pizza chain. They killed Spider-Man.
주라기 맥앤치즈 피자 출시.
Mr. Donut becomes Mr. Pizza? I was very interested in what Mr. Donut was. It turns out Mr. Donut is a Japanese donut chain that started here in the United States.
Buy a dozen delicious Yuletide donuts and get 50 cents off your next dozen.
An American man named Harry Winkoker started the Mr. Donut chain. Now, before that, he opened his very first donut shop all the way back in 1949 in Boston. Then in 1955, Harry starts working with his brother-in-law, William Rosenberg, who had just started his own donut chain called Dunkin' Donuts. The partnership soured, and so Harry broke off to start his own chain, which he called Mr. Donut, and they expanded quickly to 275 stores across the US and Canada. And then in 1971, they expanded out into Japan. In 1990, Dunkin' Donuts purchased the Mr. Donut chain, and they gave all the franchisees a choice. They could stay as Mr. Donut, or they could change their store to become a Dunkin' Donuts store. And most of them chose to go with Dunkin' Donuts. In fact, there's only one Mr. Donut left in the United States, and it's located in Illinois. However, the chain is thriving outside the US with over 10,000 locations throughout Japan, El Salvador, the Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia, Taiwan, and Singapore. Japan is its biggest market, where it is the #1 donut franchise of them all. Now, circling back to Mr. Pizza, there's another Mr. Pizza I found that was in Brazil. This is the largest pizza chain in all of Brazil. It's headquartered in Rio de Janeiro, and it opened in 1983, which was 7 years before Mr. Pizza opened out in South Korea. This Mr. Pizza has over 50 locations all throughout Brazil. In fact, they were the first franchise food restaurant in the country of Brazil. They've got an Easter Bunny pizza. I don't know what the web is for. They're going to catch is a spider trying to catch that bunny? Banana pizza for scale. There is a knockoff Brazilian Mr. Pizza that's called Mr. Pizza. Baby, our place is phony, but we've got lots of sausage and pepperoni. Take these chicken wings. I am loving this Mr. Pizza. I want to show you this commercial. They really do try to appeal to women. They had this secret garden pizza, which is supposed to be more healthy. Basically, it's like you put a salad on top of a pizza. Just take a look. There's also another one where the women are in the secret garden and the men are spying on them. And one for crab pizza that was going to give me nightmares.
신선한 게살을 넣어줘.